Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all are having a great day so far. So today we have a Roborock S5 robot vacuum cleaner on my desk here. And there seems to be an issue with the sensor or this sort of laser type mechanism. Not sure how well it's going to show up on camera, but basically it should spin on its own as there is a motor attached to it on the inside. However, that motor may get dirty over time, which impedes the ability for this spindle thing to continue to rotate freely on its own. And that is producing an error on the Mi Home app, which says something along the lines of the laser is not able to move, please clean it, and then restarts the cleaning job or something like that. I'll have more specific information in the description as to what exactly the error is. However, in today's video, we are going to be looking at diagnosing that and seeing if it's a matter of either just cleaning it on the inside with some isopropyl alcohol, or if the motor itself needs to be replaced, upon which we will acquire the new motor, take out the old one, and replace it with the new one. So, that being said, this particular video will be focusing on the S5. However, it's probably a similar procedure for other models as well. So, with that being said, let's get started. Alright, so to start off, there's a top panel here, which we will need to remove. And it's probably going to take a little bit of force. Just work your fingers into the edge of this groove here, along the side. Camera's shaking a bit. And that piece should come right off. It looks like there are only little buttons here with these little silicone gaskets around them. So we can go ahead and place that piece off to the side, and then we can take a closer look here at the top of this module. So next, if we zoom in a little bit here, we can see that there are 3 screws on each of these sides, which we are going to need to remove. These are each Phillips head screws, so we can just go ahead and zip these out. Moving on to the other side. And from there, we can move on to the next step. After each of those 3 screws have been removed from each side, these plastic pieces are actually hinge covers, where if we take a flathead screwdriver, let me see if I have one over here. You can also probably use a plastic spudger. We can go ahead and remove these using just a little bit of force on the side and placing them over to the side like so. Just like that. And that should give us access to these pieces, which we will, let's see if I can zoom out, remove in the next step. So this next part is fairly simple. If we go ahead and remove this hinge piece now that those plastic hinges have been removed, we can go ahead and place it over to the side, and that will reveal to us 1, 2, 3 rubber stoppers that we will need to remove. And You do not want to destroy these, so you do want to remove them fairly gently. Let me see if I could zoom in a little bit. Here's one. Yeah, it looks like I'm digging into it. Let's see if I have something a little bit sharper to get around the edge here. Okay. And there's one. Let's see if I can get over to the other here. Nice and easy. Here's number 2. And here's number 3. And upon removing those, and now we have 5 Phillips head screws over on the top of this module, which we will need to remove. So let's go ahead and zip those out. Need to loosen the screw a little bit first, because unfortunately my tool does not have quite enough torque to be able to just zip these on. Okay. So after zipping out those 4 screws, it looks like we have one more here that it's kind of glaring in the light, but it is covered by a white sticker. So let's go ahead and gently remove that so that we can replace it. I also have a replacement white sticker in a similar size to this, just in case I end up destroying it, which it looks like I will. Okay, yeah, that was not supposed to happen. In any case, let's just go ahead and remove that, and I'll replace it later. Okay, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Let's scratch this off just a bit. Yeah, it's not great. It's probably not necessary to replace this sticker, like, at all. But I do have another one here, so I figure, why not? And here it is. Just like new. Let's go ahead and put that over to the side. And now that all of these 5 screws have been removed, we should be able to just take out this piece and see what is going on with this sensor right here. So as I'm moving it around, it feels like it can move freely. So what we should be able to do is remove these 4 screws. So there are 2 up here and 2 down here. Take the module out, clean it, and then do some testing and see if the vacuum cleaner will work after that point. So let's go ahead and remove these 4 screws so that we can take out this. I think it's also pretty interesting that this is it seems in better quality than what I was expecting, honestly. So let's go ahead and remove these 4 screws. This one. This 2. Needs a little bit more torque. 3. looks like we have one more over there. Yep. Okay. Now that's been loosened, we should be able to just lift this right out of place and see how we can clean it. So here is the motor removed from its housing. This laser assembly. Looks good so far. It just looks like it needs to be cleaned. Spins as it should. What about the housing itself? There's motor down here. So I think I could see something in there. Let me see if I can go ahead and remove this. Let's unplug this. If it will let me. Wow. Huh. That thing is held in pretty tightly. Wow. Okay. That is removed. Let's see. So this entire piece looks like some kind of gear. Let's see. And there are 2 screws down there. Let me go ahead and try to remove those. Oh wow, they're pretty tightly on there. And I'm stripping the screw. Yeah, it's a very small Phillips head screws that are screwed in very tightly. So going ahead and going to remove both of those. There. Apologies for the shaky camera. Let's see. Okay, that one has been removed as well. And now we should be able to slide this out of place, like so. Looks like it's a little bit dirty here, but I don't think, well, actually I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and try to clean it. I do have some Q-tips here, as well as some 99% isopropyl alcohol. Let's see if I could zoom out a little bit. Nope. Okay, so let's put our Q-tip and some isopropyl alcohol there. Let's see if we can clean this so that stops behaving that way. Let's see. Wow. It's not the easiest thing to do. Let me see. Let me see something here. Wow, Let's see. Well, it does look a lot cleaner than it did before, for sure. Let's see if we can clean the area that it goes into as well. So, this, essentially. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a lot cleaner than it was before. Okay, let's go ahead and try to reassemble this, putting this back into place, as well as putting those screws back where they need to be. Let's see. Okay, it's not working. There. Still not working. Okay, there we go. Oh Lord, where did it go? All right, here is the screw. Finally managed to find it. Let's make sure it does not drop in this time. Okay, let's see. It's at an angle. Good. Now let's put this band back over where it needs to be. And as far as I'm concerned, this is running more smoothly now. At least I hope so. Let's go ahead and unplug it back in, like so. There we go. And let's put this back in its place. We will go ahead and proceed with the reassembly at this point. Okay. So it should be sitting just like this. Going ahead and putting all the screws back in place. a few awkward angles to deal with on this thing. There we go. I think there should be one more. Oh, yeah. Huh. Okay. Let's go ahead and proceed with the rest of the reassembly. So after that piece has been put back into place, there's a little flap here that is going to be facing downwards like this when you reassemble it. So you sort of need to lean it forward a little bit and then place it back down. So if we zoom in a little bit, we could see now the surface is flush as it has been before. We're putting this piece first before putting the other piece that goes into here and the hinges on top. So let's go ahead and put in these small screws. Let's see, yeah, into these holes first. And I'm going to put this screw back first. And then put the white sticker right on top. Hole is pretty narrow. Let's see. It's a lot of effort for that sticker. Okay, after that, let's put the larger 3 screws over here on the top. Wow, okay. This one also takes a little bit of torque. Stronger than the motor inside my screwdriver here. Let's see. And over here. Okay, and now that those 3 have been installed, we can take our front-facing piece and place these hinges back to where they were previously, just like this. And then put these plastic pieces back to where they were before. After putting each of those 6 screws back, we can go ahead and place a light downward pressure on this top faceplate until it sits completely flush. And there we go. So now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and test the vacuum. I'm going to see if that error continues to come up. I believe it was LDS or something. Yes, I did not mention at the beginning of the video, but it is LDS, the laser distance system motor. So if there is some problem with your laser distance system motor, cleaning it this way may resolve the issue. I'm going to do some testing off camera, and then I will report the results when we get back. So thankfully, after some further testing, that turned out to be the issue. And now the vacuum works as it should. I did have to move that little LDS, that sensor mechanism, a little bit with my finger just to get it to start moving again. And then after that, the vacuum continued working. There's no telling how long it will work after doing this procedure, so it may be recommended to just replace the motor assembly itself. And I'll post a link in the description to purchase that part if you need to do so. But essentially you would be following the same process to replace the part, and once you do, you should not be having any problems from that moving forward, at least until that motor dies again. So that's all I have for today's video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.